This is everything you need to know about South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice in one video. My own background is in international relations and human rights, as well as peace and human rights education, and my current work is mainly based around global security, human security issues, especially nuclear disarmament, which is what I talk about the most on here, as well as diplomacy, multilateral processes, and international law is something that underpins all of that. I've been seeing a lot of the same questions over and over about this case, and especially with the hearing that is starting tomorrow. And so last week, my team decided that it would be important to do a briefing paper on these things, on the most commonly asked questions. So here we go. The basics. Last month, December 2023, South Africa filed an application at the International Court of Justice alleging that Israel's actions in Gaza since October 7th amount to a violation of Israel's obligations under the 1948 Genocide Convention. Now, what does that mean? What is the Genocide Convention? So the Genocide Convention is an international treaty from 1948 that binds the 153 states or countries that are party to it. So Israel is a party to it, Palestine is a party to it, and South Africa is a party to it. And the convention gives the International Court of Justice jurisdiction over any disputes regarding its implementation. This part is a quote, so I have to read it, but the convention defines genocide as acts with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group as such. So in this case, basically simple terms, South Africa, a party to the Genocide Convention, is saying that Israel, also a party to the Genocide Convention, is violating its obligations under the convention. So I think with the hearing starting tomorrow, Thursday, January 11th, a lot of people have questions about what is really at stake here. So this case brought by South Africa is only to do with the Genocide Convention. So the court is not going to rule on other war crimes or whether other forms of violations of international humanitarian law have occurred, because those are outside of its jurisdiction. However, relevant there is the ICC, the International Criminal Court, which is often mistaken for or sort of used interchangeably with the ICJ, the International Court of Justice. The ICJ, which is what we're talking about here, is not a criminal court, and it deals with countries, like states. Whereas the ICC deals with individuals, and it is a criminal court. So the ICJ is also known as the World Court. It is the UN's judicial body. It has many more state parties than the ICC, and it deals with states, with countries, whereas the ICC deals with charging individuals. The big question, I think, on people's minds, what's going to happen tomorrow and Friday? Is the ICJ going to decide if genocide is happening or not? No, that's not what's happening right now. What's happening this week is that the court is going to hear arguments for provisional measures. Now, a key part of South Africa's case is that what they're asking for is provisional, not just that, but one of the things they're asking for is provisional measures to be taken right now. And that basically is another way of saying emergency interventions for a really urgent situation. They're asking the court to step in and try to take measures to urgently address this incredibly grave harm that's happening right now. Think about it this way. Let's say a person is caught committing a murder and they are charged with murder in cold blood. And then they are tried for that murder. They're not going to be just found guilty of murder in a single day or in a few hours or even 2 days. Right? That's not how it works. But it's kind of like South Africa is saying, we're filing this case because we believe that this state party to the Genocide Convention is in violation of its obligations. We believe it is committing genocide in this situation. But obviously, because that can't be found to be true or not, like the court can't make a ruling in 1 day or in 2 days, they're saying, at the same time, the situation now is so grave and the harm that is happening is so urgent that we are also asking for these emergency interventions, these provisional measures to be taken now. That's why this hearing that's happening tomorrow and tomorrow and Friday is so soon after South Africa filed its application for this case. So that's what's going to happen first tomorrow, Thursday. We're going to hear oral arguments from South Africa, and then on Friday we'll hear the same from Israel. And then eventually the court will issue its initial judgments on these provisional measures. So maybe I lied. Maybe that was not everything that you need to know. There's a lot you need to know, but I hope that covered the basics. And if you have questions, leave them in the comments.